Hi there, I'm Allie Elliott.
Hi guys, I'm Allie Elliott. Welcome to the stream today. I've got a whole lot in that title for things that we're going to work on. I don't know what I'm going to get through. I've got a session from yesterday that needs to get turned around, so that's going to take priority. And then I've got a competition that I've got one. This is the same one I've been working on. I've got to get that tied up. I actually missed the deadline. I didn't realize it until I got the email that the deadline had been extended. So I got lucky there, but I won't make that mistake again. So I queued up the first few for my session. It was insanely windy and insanely cold. It's 2 weekends in a row, and it's beautiful today. And I have no sessions today. So this is the one that I entered into the last competition, and it was rushed. That was all on stream. It was rushed. I knew that I was up against the clock, so there were things that fell short, and you can't sneak those by the judges, and I didn't. And so this is where we're at right now. Now it is going to be darker, much darker, like the other image, but I'm not going to mess with that until I flatten it. And I've got a few things left to do before I flatten it. I added some little candlelight reflections on their chins. And what I'm going to add today is just some lit reflections on the girl, not reflections, just some reflected light on the girl's clothes. And then it will be ready to flatten. I changed out this piece of furniture for a stool to kind of visually explain what he was sitting on and have an empty seat for Keely. And the title of this is Holding Keely's Candles. So when I bring the light down, I also added these shadows, and it's a double shadow. You know, when you're sitting at a fireplace or you're sitting with candlelight, then it kind of, the reflections, I keep saying reflections, I do that a lot. The shadows dance a little bit and cause double shadows. In addition to that, we've got 6 light sources in this image. And, it's part of it too. All right, so anyway, here we go. I'm going to, so I reshot the front of the girls' dresses because I want, especially this one, I want to get some of that texture in there. Let me see real quick what this looked like. All right, so there was some texture in there, but there's like a weird highlight here. That's maybe a little much. She's far away from this light source. So I'll take that down a little bit and then brighten up the front because there's a ruffle there and there's really no indication currently that there's any reflection. Now this one was dark enough that I lost the detail. So I'm reshooting that, and I just did that just like in my living room. So just real simple. That one will do. 6/2/22. Okay. So I'll bring those in, and these are the 2 things that are time sensitive. My ordering session for the session is Tuesday, and I will be gone tomorrow evening shooting, so, and afternoon. No, not quite, like late afternoon. Yeah, remember I put it, there it is. So I've got to get the majority of that done. I like having plenty of time. And then the other, I got kind of an odd angle, so I hope this will work. I think it should. It doesn't, it's like a crushed velvet kind of thing. This might be. That might be. You can see that the sides still pick up a lot more. That might actually end up being more visually confusing than anything, but we'll try it. Because this is legitimately what it looks like lit from head on. There's not as much light reflection as you might think. There we go. That's 7:32. Okay, I already did that. So here we go. All right, so I'm gonna start with this one. And then so here's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to sharpen and reduce noise, because this is the same treatment that every image used in this, for the most part, got. I'm going to adjust the color and then take the brightness down. Now this one can go warmer because it's the entire purpose of this is to be my okay, so I thought I had separate layers. I don't. So I will have to finagle this a little bit. And that is gonna work just fine. So these side, I want all the hard, and actually we don't have to be real precise on that because this is gonna be behind hopefully that isn't too confusing, but I do want to play with I know what it looks like because I've seen the dress. So I hope that that is reading the way I want it to. Now, I think I will also and then for this one, I'm going to duplicate the layer, select the inverse. Nope, there we go. And then delete so that it's in exactly the right spot. And then just take down that brightness a little bit. So I'm looking in both monitors because they read a little differently. And then I definitely gotta be careful there. So what is cutting that hair off? I guess that's just something I already did. It's not good. So I will go in and fix that too. But I'm gonna maybe bump the contrast a little, and then I don't think I will go brighter because what I really want is what's right there by the light to be lit up, and it is. So I'm happy with that. Now I've got to back up a little. I want that to be readable. So I'm gonna save this separately. Okay, I'm pretty comfortable with that. So I'm gonna merge those and save it. And I'm gonna save that separately because, whoops. I don't want to make it confusing. Okay, and then we got that one. Now we can go to this one. And get a little bit of information just where and again I'm going to sharpen. I don't change my sharpen settings very often, so I feel comfortable just flying through that. And then reducing the noise. And then I'm gonna warm it up, which I warmed the entire thing up. So first warming is to match, and then will be the light. So motherhood, I should maybe could turn falsehood. Women outside lend me a smile. Growing takes time. Oh, I don't wanna be here. Half alive, the zombie stare. Put me out of my misery. I mainly want these highlights and lowlights. Rose petals bloom. I'll see soon. I'll see soon. And I know that I'll have to want these hard edges gone. And this is going to be so hard to see. Okay, that's Marnie's shirt. This is 80's shirt. Okay. So there we go. So I'm gonna move it up here and duplicate. And then select. I've got to remember to go back and fix Marnie's hair too. Okay, good. I was counting on the tool to be able to okay, I think I will. I was considering keeping some under her arm, but her arm is so close to her body and the candle is also close, it would be blocking any light, and then her body kind of turns away from the candle anyway, so it wouldn't make sense to oh, you know what, that reminds me. Okay, her flame is out. See, August's flame is still so I'm gonna go higher contrast. then I'm going to go ahead and delete that because I think we're getting to where we're cool. Yep, that's the wrong one. And then I'm going to go 50% because we're getting further from, that's too much. Maybe a little shadow there. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to, oh yeah, I always skip this. Okay, so back here, I'm gonna dodge. We're at 9%. It's like a little bow, but I want it to be legible. So I'm going to go back to, because it legitimately didn't offer any information as it was shot. So I'm not going to do a lot because it's kind of the natural course of things. Now I just have to make sure that it makes sense visually. One thing I think I'll take it down a little. It needs to be very subtle. But I think I'll move this little highlight. The light when I shot this was obviously camera right. So I need to give a little more light near the candle because there's obviously something. There we go, just real simple. Just making sure that was the right layer. And you know, we added the little, what is that? Okay, that's handled. And we'll see what's going on with Marnie's. So Marnie's hair was chopped there. See, it was chopped in the one submitted as well. So I'll just, let me see what I can find out of that original. She was holding my light for me, so her hair moved a lot. Here's what we were working with, and her hair's not even up front there. Maybe I added, I don't recall that, but maybe I added her hair in post. This guy can't. There it is. 687. Did I get up closer? There we go. 38.99. Okay. So I shot yesterday and it was very cold and very windy, and that's 2 weekends in a row now that now it was not as cold as last weekend. Last weekend it was 19 degrees, but we were down in like a little kind of cavernous area. So it didn't, it felt cold for sure, but I was expecting that. And then yesterday I was expecting it to be nice. So it was a real surprise. But again, best clients in the world. They were troopers, and we took advantage of the sun when it came out. We shot some inside their home, which is always fun. There's something special about, you know, photographing kids in their natural environment, especially kids. All, but oh, what am I doing? This is the wrong one. Oh my gosh. How many others? And I was like, why is it so pixelated? It's because that I resized. What is it doing? Oh, this is so annoying. I resized it to enter it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna give my computer a minute here. Nobody's here today. This is all right. Delete that. Now delete the whole layer. Okay. Maybe this is a bad sign. This might be a bad sign. All right. What this might actually be is a sign to go work on my work, my client work over competition stuff, which also needs to get done. So not a terrible idea. I do want to get that because that's something easily overlooked. I obviously overlooked it before I sent it in, and I think that this image had enough issues that it didn't even get looked at really. It was, you know, one of those things where we've seen enough. Okay, that must be something else. So not there. Where is it? Oh, there. It's it's right there. There. Okay, so I made that tiny. That's a problem. Because it was, okay, you know what, we might just, okay, let's try this again. We'll just, fresh slate here. And then I have to find the correct, kind of a mess today. My apologies. Doesn't like it when I click too fast. All right, so again, I'm going to unsharp mask, my usual, and then reduce the noise a little bit. Just so it's had the same treatment that everything else has had. Then it's going to need to be warmed up. And then I'm going to make sure that the hard edges are gone, because those hard edges will real easily just kind of sneak in there unnoticed. And then once the judges notice it, you're done. Just gonna that might be, we'll go down just even maybe 8. That works. Hey, kitty. Okay, so I'm going to darken it a little, but I need to see the whole thing to see how much that'll do. And now we've just, there were a few ways we could have gone about that, but I think I'm getting ready. I think I'm good on this. Do not want to save the changes to that. Let's see. What I do want to check is my composition. I like it. We've got a few different uses of compositions here. We've got like a triangle. It's a little bit linear. The light is giving us individual compositions. The shadows balance it a little bit. We are a little off center. He's center, but the balance is off, which for the subject matter I feel like is just right. And part of it is that her feet are here and his feet are here, but he's leaning over his feet, so it gives that visual imbalance, which I'm on board with. So one thing, wait a second, before I do anything else, I want to go into their candles a little bit and put a little weight near the hands of their candles because they're pretty bright. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'm really truly going to do the work that I intended to do very first. And I just want to keep these, make sure that these little ridges in there are showing up. Oh, got a little delay there. It's going to make it difficult. So I want to keep the roughness on his hands. I like that. It adds a little texture. Okay, we're just gonna think for a minute. Hey, Lobase! How are ya? Have you been sitting there a while? I was in the candle zone. My computer is not cooperating. I'm gonna move this. Sometimes that helps. My notes. Okay, so we're just gonna stare at this candle. I see something in that. Oh, it might be on my actual screen. Disregard. So that's, if I have to restart this, I'm gonna be so irritated. How is it? A new baby. What'd you shoot? Okay, so right here is where I changed the weight in his hand, the weight of the candle. And I think definitely very good. So did it surpass your other new baby? Do you have favorite? Oh, this looks like I might have worked in, oh no, okay, that's a finger. Uh-oh. Okay. Everybody just hold real still. There we go, okay. It's gotta be warmer where you are if you are shooting bugs and reptiles, because it is, ew. This delay is gonna kill me. Oh, okay, gotcha. I may end up having to restart. Ooh, in the 80s, heat wave. It's actually really beautiful here today, but yesterday when I had sessions, it was not. Hey, how's it going, Impoverished? This delay in my Photoshop, I bet I need an update because, yep, as suspected, well, it's just gonna have to wait. Okay, and then I'm gonna go a little bigger, just chill on the weight of it. There we go. So that'll do there. I hope I didn't just burn something. I don't see anything though. Just try my mouse. See if that helps. It's a party in the chat. So I've got to polish this up and get this entered tonight. It turns out I was wrong on the date. I thought I had until the 31st, and I got a thing Friday night saying that registration had been ended but then been extended. So I got lucky. So we are entering like absolute insanity of a schedule for the next foreseeable future. And that has some, every time I open up this file, I find an edge that I wish I had handled better. So I did change his lower half though, so that might have gotten lost in the shuffle. All right, so I might have actually, this candle in child's hands got a little more work than some of the others. I'm showing off my award tags, am I? I don't know, am I? I absolutely would. Shamelessly, by the way. First wild snakes. Oh, yes, absolutely. I work too. You know what? You're lucky I'm not wearing them right now. Wear them, wear them everywhere. Yeah, I would say the darkened candles look way better. And then Keeley's candle is significantly grayer and darker, which is symbolic. There's uh-oh. I'm scared for the birds. Well, is there a bird shape somewhere? He's on the move. You want to stay out of his way? Oh, thank you. I know. I think whenever something like that happens, when I earn something exciting or achieve a goal, my inclination is always to call my mom. And, obviously I can't. But even still, she passed 5 years ago this month. And I can't call her. That's always my first inclination. But I always think about what she'd say. She'd say the same thing. She'd say, well, honey, I don't know what that means, but that sounds exciting. So I say that in my head to myself. My mom would think it was exciting, but she wouldn't know what it was. So we're down in the now that my source is in the right spot, I can So there was one judge that fought for this, despite its many flaws. And I'm very grateful for that, because that gave me an energy to work on it, to continue to go for it. You know what? Even something like this. Just dodging like a little tiny highlight on there. Might be worthwhile. So just give like these front two just a teeny bit. All right, so those were the old candles. Those are the new candles. Okay, so I think that we are close. I'm gonna make sure that the edges here, they look decent. I've got a really light smudge on this. So maybe just take some of that contrast out of the So I'm actually gonna, we'll say that that's progress 3. So I'll give it a minute. And then always makes me so nervous. But rather than just save it as a flattened image, I'm going to duplicate it and save it as a progress 4. So that I'm trying to save these in their original folders so that I don't have to consider which competition I stopped updating the image when I felt like it was strong enough to just continue to be re-entered. So, and I do think that I'm going to put a vignette on this. Just slight. There's no, it's either huge or just around each candle. And with this lag on my computer, I don't know if the rest will work that well, but okay. So I'm gonna save this as that same version. So really the only difference is no vignettes. I know. To know the rules to break them properly. So I'm going for it. I want to show the green. Okay. All right, so I'm going to duplicate that and then just black. Sometimes I just start opening panels and surprise myself. Where are we going with this? Nobody knows. And I just do a real simple presentation because I don't... In-person presentations, yes, I can handle that. Pixels. 10%. Does that do anything? I don't think it actually changed anything. Oh, it is it? There. Is that better? Whoops. Okay, I do want a little more though. That might be too much. No, actually, I don't think it is. I like it. But I'm gonna throw a stroke line on here. I need to find a happy medium on my stroke line because a lot of times they'll say that it's too bright. But I'm just gonna do 2 pixels. That's too bright. That's why. Maybe like it all seems really bright, and then you go to something like that and it seems really dark. There we go. I like that one. Okay. All right. I'm not completely convinced that it shouldn't be darker. Or should my matte be lighter, maybe? I made it exactly the same. Okay, I'm colorblind. And in case that wasn't painfully obvious, it probably is right around now. Okay, so what if okay, so it's almost, but I like that better. It's a little more balanced, I feel like. All right. So I'm going to save this in a few different places. And then I don't think anything else needs to be upcoming. Oh, nice. Point and shoot with one hand. Very cool. Especially in the field, you know, I feel like that would be pretty important. Okay, so I had a placeholder in there for the old version. So now we can look at these. Oh wait, do I have my competition folder? I don't. It keeps closing my folders. Probably because it wants me to update. But, so now we can see the one that I previously entered and the new one. So this is the previous entry, and there was at least one judge that really liked it. That's all I needed. And then the new version. Oh my gosh, all right, so old version, new version. Yep, I'm pretty happy with it. So now it'll just be a matter of, so I'm gonna enter Holding Keeley's Candles, Troop of One, Master Artist, Audacity of the Sun. Those both did well. Is that, I can't even tell if that's matted. I don't think it is. In fact, I don't know if I saved larger versions of the matted. Is this one matted? For some reason, I've saved the unmatted version of this image in all of these. So Chat GPT did your bio for you. So lay it on us. see here. Where did... Is this the Yes, it is. Okay, so what did I enter last? Texas. And it was a good one. Good. I have a bio due tonight. I need to get moving on it. Are you kidding me right now? Did I only... Or is that... Well, that is frustrating. I have no full-size versions. So I guess I'll just have to hope that I actually really liked that as well. So that's good. I'm pleased with that. That's good. Okay. So what I'll do now is start. All right. So I'm entering. Let me get that out of there. Audacity of the Sun, Daughter of the King, Holding Keeley's Candles, Map of Courage, and Troop of One. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. Audacity of the Sun, Map of Courage, Holding Keeley's Candles. Oh, I have a new composite to start, Troop of One. And then I've got 2 composites that need to be done by July, which is no big deal. But I want to be able to enter them in some of these other competitions. So, okay, is this your bio? Okay. Name. Name has always been fascinated. It's like a press release. I love it. Well done. Chat GPT's taking over Twitch. Now, since it was another cold outdoor day, I am going to use the action that I created for the last cold outdoor day. Never writing my own stuff again. Don't say that. Oh, that's sad. It'll work. It was so windy. It was so windy this day too. So we just went with it. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay, so my other composite that I'm starting today is gonna have a different style background than I normally do. Normally I like to do kind of a blank slate with a lot of negative space and, if anything, like a texture back there. So this one's gonna be heavy into the background. I'm gonna do a digitally painted background using an image that I photographed, obviously. I don't ever use, the only time I've ever used, I won't say never, because the only time I've ever used someone else's photographs was when I did Conversations with Our Ancestors composite with my family over 6 generations. So obviously I didn't photograph my great grandparents. I would be a lot cooler if I did. If I was a vampire, which I believe came up in chat last week. Somebody was a vampire, aging backwards. I think, was it Bear? It's definitely not me. Now I want to keep this tree, but I don't want to keep how dark it is. Whoops. So, I've got Indiana, and then I think that's it for a while, actually. I've got Portrait Masters is announcing, and I don't expect anything from there, but their announcements, I still want to see how I did. Like, they announce the winners and post the scores and everything the same time, and that's April 6th. But even before that, the one that I'm entering tonight will already be announced. And then I've got almost every single weekend between now and the end of the year is full with clients and soccer. So I am very grateful. But I am going to be busy. In the best way. Whoop. What did I just do? I hit something I didn't intend to. Merge visible. Oh, actually, that works. I will take it. So the awards that Impoverished mentioned were, I got my, I received in the mail my Master Artist degree from PPA. So I was super pumped on that. And that completes my PPA degrees. I've got my Craftsman degree, Master of Photography degree, and Master Artist degree. So from here on out, I could work on imaging excellence bars, which I believe is when you get 50 imaging excellence designations. And I don't know how many I have, to be honest. But you have to enter Mirror Image Review to get those. And I didn't really plan on entering that except maybe for that purpose. So unless I have an image that I really think is gonna blow the judges away, I'm not going to bother. And once you get even a merit with it, you cannot enter it again. Whereas, it used to be you get a merit at district, then you could break your seal and enter it again at IPC. So there's no way to do that right now. I think they'll probably alleviate that issue because that's a big obstacle to growth. So I think it's a learning curve for all of us. It is so sunny and pretty outside today, and I had no sessions. But if you looked at the weather when I was heading there, because this is out of town, these are longtime clients. I adore them. They've been my clients since their oldest was a newborn. And they moved out of my town to a town like 20 minutes away from where I grew up, where my parents live. And so I came to them for this, and I was looking at the weather, and it said 50s and partly sunny. So I was like, that's perfect. We're coming out of winter. We're all used to nasty weather. So this is totally doable, especially on the heels of last weekend where I shot outside in 20 degrees. And it was lovely. It was fast. We had to work fast. But, you kind of have to anyway with kids. But it was the wind. we went with it and played a little with the girls, and then we shot some inside too. So I can maybe get creative with those. We're just trying to get something before they decided they were done. Look at baby girl's face there. She's like, sign me out. Aw. And I couldn't use a diffuser because it was way too windy. It was almost too windy just for the light with no diffuser. And this was my addition to... Okay, so why do I have those open? I don't know. I'm gonna take these out. Actually, before I do that, I forgot to do one thing with these. So my bright point are the candles. That one, the one on the camera left, holds on for a little bit longer, but that makes sense because the other candles are that side of it. Okay. And then, not bad. We've got some clips in a composite, this deep, this dark, no big deal. The shadows all look decent. I like the double shadow for the flickering candles. Okay. I'm gonna leave that one open. I've looked at the others a lot more than this one with a critical eye. So this one has had significant changes since it's gone through judging. So that will be, in fact, let me check real quick and see, since I had the actual end wrong. Competition deadline. Oh, okay. So I will be at my family's all playing in a Pokemon tournament, and I will be there cheering them on. Okay. So, April 1st, April Fool's Day. That could go either way. And is IPPG judging. And then I can watch it all day. And I also have a Man City game to watch that day. So, bring the charger. And it starts at 9 a.m. Yes. I absolutely love watching judging. Okay, and the deadline now is March 31st. I should probably just join. Pokemon is very much still a thing. In fact, my kids were, my 14-year-old was 4th in the world when the world shut down. And that was his last Pokemon tournament until last week. And they just got it started again last year, kinda. But there were a lot of restrictions in place that just weren't conducive to our family anymore. And he jumped into a tournament last week. Well, I guess 2 weeks ago on Monday. And he went undefeated. So he still got it. And then, so he plays a trading card game. And then my 17-year-old plays a video game. And he was ranked too. He was like 9th in the world when everything shut down. And we traveled every month. We would take at least once a month, take a pretty extensive trip for them to play in a regional. And so it was a big life change when we couldn't do that anymore. So it's fun to be back. We've got a regional. We're just doing a regional on the 1st. And then we're going to do like internats in Columbus because they've got the best donuts in the world. It's not even a competition. They have no competition. I'm very passionate about those donuts. Okay. Don't challenge me on that. But yeah, and he's got a hefty college fund saved up from all of his winnings. And then this was kind of a bummer. My now 12-year-old was 9. He was freshly 9 and had just gotten his first Worlds invite at the tournament before. We were in Canada for Pokemon when they closed the border. But it was a big deal, and now we've got. Did I already? I might have already grabbed that one. Yeah, I bet I did. 7. Okay, I already got that one. So we'll just go there. It's so windy. And then since we were at these tournaments anyway, then my husband started playing. He did a pretty good job. Huh? 25, 28, 32. Let's see. And because it was such a big deal in our house, I kind of learned to play just to help them practice and stuff, but I was not very good. Mm. 43, 46, 50. So we're excited to be back to that. So he was, my trading card game player was in, there are 3 divisions: juniors, seniors, and masters. And he was a junior when he just went absolutely ham and was winning incessantly. And then when everything shut down, we were the second half of his first year as a senior, and he still was cutting everything and winning a ton for being the youngest kid in the pool. And now he is a senior still, but just for a few more months. And my oldest is a master, so he's in there with everybody. And that's for the regionals. At the local stuff, they all play together. And then we've got soccer starting, so that'll definitely change my streaming schedule. I need to reorder some samples because I have had 3 of my printers go out of business, which is really sad. Especially, I don't know. It's sad for everybody. I was moving away from one of them anyway because you could tell they just were not there anymore and their times were lagging, and quality just wasn't what it used to be. I'm pretty picky with my printers. I like the little like glimmer of spring. Actually, I'm ready to get some flowers on the trees and they're getting beamed up right now. I'm actually very excited about the new image competition, and I'm much further ahead than, because the entry dates used to be a whole lot earlier, and I appreciate that because they're new. It's new this year. All the changes, they're giving everybody extra time, but at the same time, I'm very antsy to just get this party started, and that wait beyond to the top 32. Now, I haven't looked up. Maybe they haven't said what happens between the top 32 and the top 10. Now, I think I'm gonna take the sisters out of this one and just make it about the baby. Oops. Because since she sat there alone, and she was really a trooper, but it was easier for the big girls to get individuals taken. And I like this with her and her mom, so. Get rid of the double catch light. A little reflection, but not as much. The light is not my favorite because it's almost like on camera out of necessity. But it'll do. She makes up for it. There we go. I love you like a garden underneath the rainfall, moving off a heat wave in the summertime. Are you the kind of one? Since I lowered it, I'm gonna add in some warmth. I'm the kind of man that I wanna make you mine. If you ever need, and then I'm gonna flip this so they're off that tension point. I waste no time, love. I come straight to you. Oh, the river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim. Okay. keep trucking.
You would have told me your mom was coming. I would have worn my
So I need to get at least halfway on these,
poor boy. I ain't got nothing.
and I'd much rather work ahead.
I got love, babe. I know. If you need me,
7:55.
just call me. I waste no time, man. Come straight to you. Our river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim, babe, you know I'll be there.
Let's see which ones. Yeah, I like that one. 61. $64, $67. It really does show off her long hair. It's so fascinating to me. One of my favorite parts of my job is seeing these kids that I photographed as little babies themselves, and they're growing up and becoming like big kids, especially when they have become older brothers and sisters. And then all of a sudden they're ready for their little baby LinkedIn profile picture. And they're like grown all of a sudden. And in a year, I see a lot of families once a year. So the changes in a year at these ages are just crazy.
Even if I gotta swim, babe, you know I'll be there soon. Even if I gotta swim, babe.
And it's so cool to see their relationship with their siblings develop and document that for them. $75, $78, $80. Okay, I've got to get through this set because she gave so many, oh my gosh, she gave so many good faces, and we just went with the wind. You know, it was like a giant out of control wind machine. And I used that in the studio, but on a limited basis. $85. $90, $94. Okay, 90, 94, 99. All right. I narrowed those down a little bit. And then you're photographing the whole family and you see pieces of the siblings in one another. Just like, just as a parent. But as a parent, it's different because you're seeing not just their faces and their like facial structure and traits and stuff, but you're seeing their personality too in a different way than outsiders can. I feel like we need peppier music. There's nobody here. I'm going to see if somebody will bring me a coffee. And I'm going to delay. When I have stuff on my calendar to do, I just repeatedly delay it until it's either done or I don't care anymore. Okay. Let's see. I like the little glimmer of spring there. And the trees will stay a little crooked, but not as crooked as they were And I'm just gonna dodge the highlights a little bit. The way that sun is just, it was in and out. And it was hard to, like, we couldn't get set up quick enough to get, like, it would just be, because the wind was blowing so fast that it would blow a cloud. And, like, some of the clouds would stay there forever. So you can't just leave kids, you know, chilling when it's really cold and windy in the same spot and hope they're still there. Make sure that catch light's showing up pretty good. We'll make sure though. Her eyelashes were blocking it. There we go. That's a real smile. What the future might bring. I hold my breath, waiting for someone to knock at my door, telling me there is more waiting for me. Whoa. If I love you harder than I've ever done before, oh, maybe I've been I love the movement. I made my settings so that where their faces were still it'd be fast enough that it would it'd be in sync with my strobe, but it would let some movement into their hair. Because there is no use in fighting that kind of wind. You've got to, there's no like erasing back to have the perfectly coiffed hair. You just have to go with it. And we did. And you would never know how cold it was. Maybe in the beginning ones when they were a little bit visibly cold. Catch lights in there a little bit. So I'm guessing, judging by the amount of work I've got ahead of me, that I'm not going to, because I put on my title thingy that I was going to finish up a composite, check, got that done, edit a session, which I'm doing now, and start a new composite. But I also have kind of a checklist if you're new to composites. So I think I'm gonna hold off on the new composites until tomorrow, and then I can do the checklist at the same time. So it's kind of the same. We got a theme. I love a theme. We built a house when we were 21. Now I know I need to have better posture. My back is sore. Who can predict the future when they're young? What go bigger. I like this song. I think I say that every time it's on. I've listened to the same playlist. I don't know if it's considered a playlist or not.
Got close with all your friends, but never you. You shut me out and gave me attitude. No longer. You call and keep on asking, is it too late for us? The answer I keep giving, isn't it obvious? Our love has turned to nothing. But before I go, you should know. Should know. You owe me years and years of happy times. You owe me tears and tears, 'cause I'm all out. Yeah, you
So I haven't even looked at the weather for this week because I think I'm in studio the whole week.
to change, so I owe you too.
I am. I'm not on location once this week.
It's true, what they say.
I'll take it either way. And I love it. Like when there is inclement weather, you know, nothing dangerous. It's going to rain tonight. And it's going to rain Thursday, Friday, and maybe Saturday. And it's still going to be cold. Tuesday, we're at 29. So I'm not complaining. I like all the weather, honestly. That's probably in the right part of the country. I like a surprise. And I love when a client is game to just, let's do it. That makes me so happy because, you know, it's kind of like taking pictures that aren't just the smiles. You get some variety in your family albums over the years, and something fun and a little different. And I have one family that I've photographed for like 12 or 13 years, and their kids are teenagers now, and I always come to their house at this same time of year. So I was thinking, like, how can I make this different? Like, how can we make these different other than, because the kids don't change that much anymore. You get to a point, you know, where they don't have the huge growth spurts that they were, and you know, we're in their home. It's a similar time of year. So I was trying to brainstorm ways to make do something different. Like, I'll bring a blanket and I'll have some different poses and stuff, but they don't necessarily want to, like, they're old enough, they don't want to do anything too cutesy, and they don't they're a little more aware of how they want a hand and how they're going to come off, which I'm totally on board with, but it puts up a layer of that you don't get, like, the absolute carefree faces, like genuine natural facial expressions that you do with younger kids. And I was so excited. It happened to snow the day of their session, and we'd never, for some reason, we had never gotten snow. And it's a little earlier in the year for that, so it worked out so beautifully. And they got something a little different. And they have, you know, like a lot of families with teenagers, their schedule is hard to, it's not like we could be like, let's do a snow session, and whenever we get snow, we'll put something together. Like, my schedule is tough for that. I used to do that earlier in my career, I would take a snow list, and whenever we would get a snow, or if it was even like a pretty certain forecast, I would contact the people in order that they got on the list and, you know, have a snow session. And it was fun while we did it, but a little bit stressful, like trying to get everything planned. And when you don't have, if you plan enough to have outfits and stuff, then it's not happening that year, because we don't get enough snow that we could have guaranteed. Like if I'd had a snow list this year, I probably wouldn't have had too many of them happen. 08, 11:58. And 11. What else we got? 15, 16, 22. 23. I might pick between those but I think the second one was a little more of a smile. And a lot of times with the little ones, the best smile that you get is when you say, okay, no smiling for this. Whatever you do not smile. And then they'll, you know, and then once in a while you get a kid who can, like, you know, bust out a real serious face, and it's like, it's a win-win. Very rarely a kid will just, like, when I say don't smile, they just, like, they freeze in, like, the fakest smile you've ever seen. And then that makes me laugh, and then that makes them laugh. So you really can't go wrong with that tactic. I'll let you in on my secret. Let me see here. Okay. This is the more glamorous part of portrait photography. Take that catch light off and then clone this one, because that actually wasn't a catch light, it was a tear. Thanks, babe. Your kids learning to make coffee is when the second part of your life begins. I actually really like that one. I like them all for different reasons, but I'm gonna go with it. Okay, so tomorrow I'll do the composite discussion, especially because nobody's here right now anyway. So if you have questions, too bad. everybody's outside. We had brunch today and it was delicious. And I always feel like when I don't have a lot of sessions that I should try to like relish in that, and I'm not usually successful at that. So it's either like feast or famine. But we are coming up on a very busy time. So hopefully it will. I'm prepared for it, so hopefully that means it will ride out smoothly and all that good stuff. And I know that I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So I do some volume work still. I don't do schools anymore, which I'm pretty happy about. But I do sports because I actually still find that fun. And when I first started the studio, a lot of these organizations gave me a boost when I really needed it, when I was early in the business and new in the area. So it's partly that too, but it's good marketing. And I like being out there. I like opening day of baseball, and I like being out there for soccer, and just I like the sports atmosphere. So it's a totally different scenario than going into school and it's like cattle call. I couldn't find the joy in that. But thanks, babe. Yay. But with the sports photos, the kids are out there doing something they love. You get to be outside and just that atmosphere of like, I have done some indoor sports, but it's that atmosphere of something that they are having fun at, and it's a family situation. You can chat it up. And I remember in 2020, Major League Baseball was still not happening, and one of the little leagues that I photographed was still doing a much lighter season, but they were doing it. And we went ahead with pictures and everything, and watching those kids play Little League was like, it felt like the World Series because we had been deprived of sports for months. But a lot of those sporting clubs, sporting organizations had to try to get some kind of season, or they just would never have been able to come back. And, okay, so on top of getting into an incredibly busy season for the studio, on top of coaching soccer, I have jury duty. So, my initial reaction to that was, I'm excited. I think that would be phenomenal. And really pumped for it. And then I looked at the month that I was called for, and I was like, oh no. Because, as a small business owner, you're not just letting the boss know. It's massive rescheduling, and it's day by day. You call in the night before, and they tell you if you're going in the next day. So I don't know what the process is, though, if you get dismissed, if that's something that, like, does that happen over the phone? Does it happen the night before? Because I don't want to leave people hanging until, it's maybe we have a session tomorrow, maybe we don't. Maybe we have an appointment tomorrow, maybe we don't. So that'll be interesting. And if I have to go to jury duty, it better be interesting. It better be like, give me a good one. I don't even know what kind of, like, what goes to jury trial. I only know, like, the Dateline stuff. That's where my courtroom expertise ends. Maybe I'll have some next month. You never know. These two are so cute. Okay, I promise we did move out of this spot. I just want to give them a variety because of the wind affecting so many. Oh, where did that go? It keeps hopping around weird. 58, 42, 44. $42, $44, and then we'll keep trucking. Oh wait, I like that better. 45. $48, $54, $60. That's my newborn expert mug. It was a gift. Pretty sure it came from Click and Blossom, but it was a long time ago, so I'm not actually sure if it's still. I'm gonna Google that actually. Still around. Maybe I need some more mugs because honestly these are high quality mugs. I'm a mug snob. They're a gift place. Ooh, actually that's pretty cool. I wonder, how do you know if a place is still in business? I feel like it shouldn't be that hard. Well, everything looks up to date. Oh, they have a store. So I'm just shopping, don't mind me. Oh. Okay, so they haven't posted since 2017. Okay, never mind. Maybe not, maybe they're not. Okay, took a little break. I'm back. I'm gonna queue up a few more though before I get going on these. I like to get into the zone. 70. And like, I know they're not for everybody, but I love these pictures. You know, she's got hair over her face and it's just chaos. And I love it because what represents a 3-year-old better than just a little splash of chaos? And before too long, there'll be those teenagers that I was talking about earlier that just, you know, like, are very aware of how they look and how they want to look. So, all stages have their thing. And the funny thing is, I did this Facebook memories, like, that's legitimately the only reason I'm on Facebook anymore. It's for the memories, because I love to look back. First of all, I would unfriend myself. That girl is the worst. But it's cool to see, you know, just like a day in the life. I was like reading my grandmother's diaries from 100 years ago. Yeah, actually it is 100 years ago. That's nuts. I had to look at what year it was. But I posted one. So the original image was from 2008. And I had 3 kids at the time. And our daughter had already passed. So the 2 boys. And we did the side by side. Well, like one, you know, they were laying like that. So they were laying on their backs with like their heads next to each other, but their feet going opposite directions. Do you follow me? And then, so I did that in 2008 when the younger one was born. And, and then I did an updated version 4 years later, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're so big now. So I was teasing them now that they're both fully bearded and, you know, nearing grown-ups, especially the 17-year-old. But it just really made me think. I'm getting deep now. But it just made me realize how, like, I thought they were so big then. And, you know, and I know I'm going to look back at the ages that they are now and think, oh, I thought they were so big then. And they're still, I'm so grateful that my kids are all still home. Like, and they're still babies. Like, of course they're home, but I'm fully aware how fast it's going to go. And I'm excited for them and sad for me. I love the idea, you know, of our family growing someday and everybody getting married and having a big family again, because we used to, when I was a little kid, we had a huge family and big family reunions and cousins and, you know, and not just on holidays, but just on any given Sunday. You didn't know who would be at my grandparents' for Sunday dinner. We do have a nice little Sunday tradition now, but it's just our family, which is good size. Godspeed to the girl that is the first to come along. A serious girlfriend or wife for one of my sons, because she will. I think it would be hard to enter into a big family, especially as the first one. I'm the youngest of 3 girls, and my sisters are 5 and 8 years older, and we were all in her business. We were all in my oldest sister's business. Don't mind us. But I think that is usually the case, especially when there's a big age gap. Now, I don't have a gap. My kids don't have a gap. They're all a couple years apart. So the gap between the oldest and the youngest is 11 or 12 years, but there are 4 children in between those two as well. So it'll be interesting. I'm gonna run out of things to talk about. Nobody's on here. Where is everybody? What are you all doing? You're all outside enjoying the beautiful day, and I was outside yesterday shooting, and now I'm inside. Now that it's beautiful. I thought I might end up in a food coma after my brunch. My vegan breakfast sandwich, home fries. I'm starting to get hungry again though. It's been a minute. A little bit chaos. And I think these ones where you can't see their faces, where you just see their movement and their, their babyhood, I think those make for cool collages. I kind of like it crooked. I think I will not leave it like that, but yeah, that makes more sense. Let's see, where are we at on this? 48. And I actually like the variety where, there's cloudy and there's sun. There's never a point where it's not windy though. That was the one constant. And in case you're new around here, this is an action that I built last week. Nothing intense at all. It's the same process that I do whether I'm in studio or outside. It's just how I treat the images that come right out of my camera. And it was bright and cold, so I created an action to counteract that and put it where I want it to be at the end point. And it just so happened that I had another bright and cold session this week, so I'm just reusing it. And I have a tendency to rebuild that similar action. It's the same process, it's just the amounts change based on conditions. And I accidentally deleted my 1:4 in studio, so when I'm in studio next time, I will rebuild it. And actually that'll be tomorrow because the composite that I'm working at, some of the elements were shot in studio. So it's going to be, I have the concept built and I have no 5883. And I don't have a title. I've got a few working titles, but like I've run into in the past, nothing that really stands out to me. I'm gonna move this music to That's loud. Okay. This one's dark. I think it probably... Sometimes you just gotta go with it. Her hair is just absolutely everywhere. She's giving it her all though. Baby girl's glad she doesn't have hair. She was borrowing their hair for a little bit. Ah, 11. And I'm not even halfway through. Well, 13, 18. 13, 19, how about that? All right, we'll go with that. A little reggae background music. And if you can hear me taking drinks, I deeply and sincerely apologize because that is a terrible sound. Now, if we had no wind, we just were under a wind advisory. It's too bad because the light filtering, first of all, I moved the session up because we were scheduled for 4 o'clock, which would have been perfect for kind of a golden hour directional light situation. And then with the forecast, it looked like it was going to be really cloudy and maybe some rain. So I suggested we move it up to 2 when we would have a little more light, a little more ambient light, and then I would bring my strobe like I always do. So we moved it up, and then I didn't see the wind advisory until I was already there. And I think I would have been better off to wait. Unfortunately, I think I made a bad call. That if we had waited till 4, maybe the wind would have died down. And we could have gotten some directional light through the trees because it didn't feel that cold except for the wind, but it did not let up the whole time. And what's crazy is we probably need to get our pool open pretty soon, and it's going to be 29 degrees this week. So I guess it's not too big of a concern, but we need to get on the schedule before everybody else thinks about it, because probably today made people think about it, including me. And I've got flare from the strobe, but I don't hate it. I can go a little bit bigger. And actually, okay, I was afraid that. And the whole drive there, it was an hour drive, and there were these stacked, beautiful clouds that were like shades of blue and gray and just absolutely stunning. And they all blew away before I got there. I knew that would happen too. That always happens. Usually it's when I'm going out to the lake. There is a huge man-made lake just outside my town, and it's absolutely beautiful. I've shot hundreds of times out there, and it's gorgeous, and it's always a little different, but it's very open light, so you have to be adaptable. And driving there, it's always like a gorgeous sunset or like, all these scenarios that I'm like, oh, please, mist or whatever. And then by the time I get there, it's an entirely different set of weather. 59:27. Let's do 28, 29. And then if there's not a better one, then I could head swap here because that one hair across there kind of ruins that. Oh, wait. Look up, baby girl. Yes. 36, 39, 44. I might not use all of these, but yawn. A shadow on her face a little bit, but that'll do. And now it's nice and even light across the three of them, but it's not ideal. But you can see their faces. Little baby cheeks catching the highlight. I dressed everybody this morning. Well, I didn't dress everybody. They dressed themselves, but I was, normally they can sleep in. And I get everybody up earlier today for church. But during the week, they can sleep in because I would rather them be nice and rested. And so I'll get them up like right before it's time to go. And they can grab a quick breakfast, get dressed. So I'll just tell them when they get up, what the weather is like, how to, especially this time of year, because it could go any direction. And I told everybody today that it was really cold. I guess I just based that on yesterday. Looking at it now, I don't know why I said that, because I didn't look at the weather. So, let them down. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself when the comps are over. And all the competitions really were based around IPC already happening. So the ones that were after IPC don't probably get the same traffic from the same people anyway. They might be just as big, but so I'm on the hunt for some new competitions to try out and just kind of something a little different. One, 82, 87. Oh, there we go, 98. All right, 98, 6,003. Because she's not looking, it's not any engagement with the camera, but she's showing her teeth. So we've got cleanup on aisle 4. Trying to follow that contour of her face. That was easy. One at least with those teeth. So I'm on a coffee subscription, and I don't know if they're not moving as quickly as they did, or if I'm just drinking more than I was, but we are getting dangerously low. So if I didn't have a little mini trip planned this weekend, I would be real nervous. Here we go. Just gonna go a little smaller and highlight those top of the cheeks, make sure her dimple gets shown off. I love a dimple. My favorite tooth phases in kids are when they get these little bottom 2 teeth and when they lose their top 2 teeth. Those are the best. So I will have a new composite tomorrow. I've got the plan, and I had to adapt my plan for the backdrop for this, because I want the backdrop to be a part of it. Normally it's just what is the least distracting. And I wanted the backdrop to be really vibrant and colorful, which is a challenge for me, being colorblind, for me to be able to see it how other people are going to see it. So this is just a way that I feel like I can improve. I've trained my eyes for years now, so this will be a little test. In a fun way, though. It's a lighthearted. I don't do a lot of fun, lighthearted imagery for my personal work. Usually my clients get the fun part, and I have a heavier, more serious side to my exhibition and competition work. However, I did one I'm not even gonna go find it because I'm wasting time. I'm doing that on purpose. I'm not gonna let myself. But I did 7 Scoop Itch, which was an ice cream picture. You can see it on AllieElliott.com. It might even be on rootsandwingsphotography.com. It's called 7 Scoop Itch, and it was a nod to the 7-year itch, Marilyn Monroe, where her skirt is blowing up over an air vent. And it was a little girl, my little girl, with pigtails blowing up. And she's holding 7 scoops in an ice cream cone, and the ice cream is blowing up. So I entered that as a case filler. And at the time, a case was, for IPC, was made up of 4 images in Master Artist, and then you could do 4 images in Photographic Open. And I, for the past few years, have done both. And the Master Artist images take longer. You know, you've seen the compositing that I work on here. It takes longer than a Photographic Open image. There's reshooting and concept development, those kinds of things that go into it. So I would enter sometimes what I considered to be case fillers, where there was like a fun concept that I could put together quickly. And that image was one of them. There was just a case filler. Like, I used my own children. There was no deep meaning to the story. It was just like a silly title and a fun, well, it ended up going Imaging Excellence. What's Imaging Excellence now? It was the Loan Collection at the time. But it just kind of was a lesson learned that sometimes you can have competitive success without going deep into the recesses of your soul and working some stuff out in photos. I still do that, and I still love that, but it allowed me to not feel like I was like cutting corners or something, because I was doing something lighthearted. So this will be another image like that. Not that it'll necessarily do well, but it's a concept that I like, that I've had in my I've got a notebook that I just have near me. And if I think of a title or if I think of a concept, I just write it down. And when I'm looking for stuff to work on, I can flip through there and see, you know, what's next. And just, I have seen a lot of long-term ideas sitting around there come to fruition because I had them recorded in my notebook. And I was gonna hold on to this for the eyelashes, but I'm not sure. I bet there's a better one inside for her eyelashes. Because we went inside, they had a gray wall, and thought maybe I could use that as a backdrop. So we shot some like that too. And we did a cake smash. So their mother makes their cakes for their first birthday cake smash. I don't do a lot of cake smashes because in my experience, it has been a long process for few image returns. So it takes a long time for the babies to like dig in there, and then a long cleanup process for really, you want like a couple of them eating and like the picture of the cake. But I've gotten better at it over the years, over like getting different angles, and she does such a good job with the cakes. Wait till you see this cake. I'm not a chef or a baker. Like, I'll bake stuff, but it's not to look at. It's 100% solely to eat. It's not pretty. It's not anything that anybody else would want, probably. But that is the only thing I do in the kitchen. Is like around the holidays, I like to make peanut butter fudge, and I will bake once in a while. And that really was born out of necessity, because we've been vegan for 22 years, and you couldn't go buy baked goods. So if we wanted a treat, we have to go make it. And it wasn't even easy to find stuff to make them. So which one do we like better? There are coordinating pictures similar to that, where they're with her sisters, where they're looking off screen, kind of into the wind. And I love when like they'll be looking at each other, so I'm definitely gonna include that one. Hmm. 28. Oh, that's even better. 30. All right, and then before we add mom and dad, I'm going to get these caught up. And these would actually make really beautiful acrylic canvases, the stripped, pressed acrylic canvas. Hey, how's it going? Or is somebody here? Caught me just in time. getting ready to get off here tonight. It's quiet on Twitch. Ah, yes. Yes, we're all in this together. What are your edits tonight? It's a good night for photo editing. Ah, very fun. I wrapped up some competition entries. I thought I had till the 31st, and then I got an email last night that I missed the deadline, but they had extended it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that before I get my dates wrong again. So I'll enter that, and then I'm working on a very windy session from last night. And I've got some sports coming up here. Not to edit yet, but it is that time of year. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, I have been in portrait photography for almost 16 years. It'll be 16 years in June. And I've had my studio. I've got a little studio on the town square. And I've been there for 11 years. And I love it. And I've moved out of, I don't do any events at all. I just do portraits. Yeah. I'm gonna be obnoxious real quick and show you my studio because I love it. It's tiny. I have a teeny tiny studio, but I've been there. There's my studio. I've been there, like I said, for 11 years, and I absolutely love it. And I don't have to water those flowers. Somebody else does that. Whoops, got a different tool. So I've been on location for the first time last week and this week, really for the first time in months. I've been in the studio because the weather has been so nasty, and we braved it the last 2 weekends, and then the weather was still nasty. So one of these days, though, it really wasn't that bad. And I have incredible clients. I'm Nikon. Hipster. Definitely not a hipster. I'm Nikon. I've been Nikon for, in fact, I have my broken down jalopy cameras that have been through it all with me. Yay! Yes, I'm very loyal. I am a creature of habit, and like I know I need new camera bodies. I have two 12-year-old camera bodies that I really don't have any desire to change, but I know I need to. The time is coming. Every year I'm like, this is probably the year I need to update my camera bodies. Oh, how do you like your 85? Yeah, anything new is going to be mirrorless. I'm not on the mirrorless train. So maybe I'll just keep my, you know what? Then maybe the DSLRs will all be on sale. And I don't get anything serviced anyway, so. And here's the image that I wrapped up. Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, the refurbished, supposedly, I've never done this, but people say that the refurbished stuff is actually better. It goes through a more intense process than the new ones. So, okay, so here are my entries. And these were all edited completely on, yes, absolutely. So this is Troop of One. This, as you can see, my guide images down here. This is a master artist image. So this got actually third place at the ASP competition last month, which was huge. Huge, because I didn't ever think I'd place there. So that was exciting. And this is a map of courage. This will be entered in natural portrait. And then Daughter of the King. This probably won't go any further, but I just keep entering it. Like I don't plan on entering it in IPC, but it's here already, and it's like $15 to enter. So I'm gonna throw it in there. And then this is Audacity of the Sun, tribute portrait. Oh, thank you. You're too kind. I do a lot of moody, like a little depressing and heavy work as my competition and exhibition work, because my day-to-day work is so lighthearted and cheerful. So it's my balance. And then holding Keely's candles. So these will be, I feel like I'm forgetting something though. What am I forgetting? This one I'm gonna take out. And I've got a new composite starting tomorrow that I'm very excited about. So, and this one earned Texcellence Award at Texas last week. So that was pretty cool. Next Saturday is the judging, and this is all preparation for the International Photographic Competition. Actually doesn't open until July now, so I'm ahead of the game. But I have 2 more that I need to even start on. So one is shot, the other is developed. Thank you. With sports photography, yeah, you don't do much editing. I'm not an event photographer. That is not where my strengths lie at all. So that's a totally different beast. And they're such cool work. But the sports that I like to shoot are in the studio, and then I composite them. So that's a totally different scenario, which I do like doing that stuff, but I get distracted too by the games. Like I just want to watch the games. So I'm excited to see these go through again. This one did decently well too. Okay, so I gotta keep trucking on this session because I've got a quick turnaround. I shot it yesterday. My ordering session is Tuesday, and then I'm on location tomorrow. Yes, learning to watch the game through the lens. Yes. So what age? Who? And you said it was football. Is it American football or real football? American football, yeah. Friday Night Lights. Except it was Saturday Night Lights. Honestly, I love going to any sporting event whatsoever. I could get really into pretty much anything. My husband, during one of the Olympics, he was watching curling, and like by the end of it, I was like deeply invested in whether or not, Norway was gonna. I don't remember who it was, but the world called it soccer until 40 years ago. You call it whatever you want. That is my sport. Oh, my dog says hi. All right, let's see where we're at here, because I have to get this turned around. Got 78 in the gallery. I did probably find photographing soccer really boring. I can't. So we saw the U.S. men's national team play in June of last year. And, he says hi back. And also he's barking at the wind. And I was so torn on whether or not to bring my camera because I wanted to be present. And like I said, I'm not good at sports photography or event photography. Well, the thing is, we got really lucky. So I ended up bringing it because, like I said, I've got really old camera bodies, really old lenses. And I felt like if it gets trampled or like I throw it, no big deal. Then there's my excuse to buy a new one. And I was really glad that I had it. We got lucky that we saw them play Morocco and US won 3-0, which given how Morocco did in World Cup was crazy good. But that was before they had their old coach. It was a dumpster fire. But we were in the second row and all of the action, the 2 goals that the U.S. scored in the first half were right in front of us. They came over to the corner flag right where we were and celebrated. I could have reached out and touched them, and I didn't. And so we got their celebration, the goal, and then the third goal was down at the other end, was a PK. So I was glad I had it, but just because I don't have the right lenses to get anything good at that length, but I was glad I had it. They were really, it was cool. It was a cool experience. I'm so glad you love your lens. Yes. Oh, yeah. My moneymaker. Very nice. It's good stuff. I had the windiest session ever. Like I was rambling to myself earlier, last weekend I had an outdoor session and it was 19 degrees. So I found a little spot like down in a creek bed where we were away from wind. The sun was out. It really wasn't that bad. We worked really quickly just because it was cold, but we were prepared for it. And then yesterday it was supposed to be warm and maybe rainy. So we were prepared for that. And then it ended up being like frigid wind. And the wind was everywhere. So we went with it. They were troopers, and I'm very grateful for my clients. But I'm probably just gonna... It was cold. When I looked at the weather, it said 50 and partly sunny, and I was like, oh, that compared to 19 degrees last weekend, that's golden. But at least snow is pretty. But we're all, it's the end of March. It's almost April. I think everybody expects it to be warm. And it's not. But I'm taking a little snow. But I have been on here far too long. I'm going to go stretch and eat some dinner. And not the melting snow of March. Yeah, that's true. The brown trampled on. But we get, usually our March, April snow is like, if it's on top of like blooming flowers and shrubs and stuff, then it's beautiful. And it's just like, it might just be there in the morning and then it goes away. So if you time it just right, that's all you need. Oh, thank you. I will be back here tomorrow and I will be doing some more exciting stuff, like starting a composite. Oh, okay. And is this your new lens? Beautiful light. Yes. I love it. I'm inspired. Very nice. I do love an 85. I like a zoom though. Are you a prime or a zoom guy? I feel like I can't ever get used to a prime. I need to move constantly. You mix them. Fair enough. I like it. Well, are you a streamer? Yeah, I would imagine for sports that would be since my studio is so small, I like a zoom too to just be able to add some variety and sometimes a fun angle. No one wants to see my homemade face. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out. Then give me a follow on here and it will alert you to me being on here. I'll be on here tomorrow. I'll be on here probably mostly. Yay, thank you. Probably most days this week because I know I'll be gone next weekend. Olaf, you just caught me. You just made it in time. I've been talking to myself for 2 hours now. Everybody's here. Fine. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow, probably earlier than I normally am. And until then, I'll be on Instagram and on YouTube. So I will be back for sure. Composites start tomorrow, and it will be it'll be a fun one. So come keep me company. Thank you for hanging out tonight, and I will be back soon. Have a beautiful evening. Bye.
That's why you my mommy.